I'll just
Good morning, everybody. This is Kristy Bock with Goddess Talks.
and I almost forgot my name. And I'm Raven Starr, you guys. Hey.
Oh my goodness. So, look at this cup, y'all. Oh, look.
Oh, I like it. It's Chewbacca.
So, this is Derek's cup, and I stole it.
Oh. Ooh, I'm telling Derek.
He knows. I took a picture of it and said, I put coffee in your cup.
Coffee with some margarine.
No, butter.
Butter,
Nobody,
butter.
nobody puts margarine in their coffee.
What was the difference between butter and margarine?
One is horrible for you, and one's made from milk fat.
Oh, all right. I'll dig it. I have hot cocoa today instead of
Yay.
orange juice.
So I ordered all that stuff yesterday. I actually ordered it and it's on the way and it'll be here by 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh, she is excited.
And then because I'm extra.com, I even bought Derek a pair of those headphones or the earbuds that matched mine just in a different color for Valentine's Day
Oh,
that I will,
Tito.
of course, give him tomorrow.
She's, here you go, babe. For Valentine's Day, but here you go right now.
I asked him, I'm like, if I buy you this, do I have to wait till Valentine's Day to give it to you? And he's like, no.
It's crazy because I can't, like, if I buy presents for my kids or whatever, um, it's hard for me to wait. I
I don't
gave my
wait.
daughter her presents before Christmas because I just couldn't wait to see her face. So I'm good with that. I'm good with buying a present and then, oh, I'm going to save it for a very special day. No, no. Once the present is in my hands, I'm like, oh, I should give it to him right now. Yeah, I'm not really good.
That's how you know that you really are related to me. We are all that way. I don't think, look, so my kids thought when they were little, okay, you know how all kids go and they sneak a peek at their presents and, then
Absolutely.
normal kids wrap their shit back, stuff back up.
It wasn't me. Ding, 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 ding. It wasn't me.
Normal kids wrap those presents back up, slide them under the tree, and call it a day. No, my kids put the wrapping paper in the closet, played with their sugar honey iced tea until until Christmas, and then put the boxes back under the tree.
Oh, smart. Very, very smart.
So, so one year they forgot to put the items back in the box, and my son opened up nothing but empty boxes. It was hysterical. He was
Oh,
so busted.
oh, Lord. Love it. Absolutely love it.
So I have a question for you, Raven, and it's going to start right into what we're talking about today.
What
What
are we talking about today?
business?
Okay,
Ready? All
business.
right, this is your
Yeah,
question. What did you do for your brand today?
I woke up.
I mean, you got to wake up. That's without waking up, we're
Uh,
dead. So there is that.
right, right. Um, See, you said today, and today is only started for me. So the answer is not a damn thing. Just woke
Okay.
up. But
Well,
today, I would like to get to that blog to social.
mm-hmm.
I am working on rewriting the blurbs for some of my books that are already out.
Okay.
I'm listening to Boss Lady, so that's what I'm
O-
doing.
Okay. Very good. So I will start
I
off
got a question
today.
for you though.
Yes.
You said yesterday that we had goals. Now I did my 30 minutes of yoga yesterday. She's hiding behind the Chewbacca cup, which means she did not write some words. Yeah, all
I did
right.
not. I did not. I was actually just about to say that. That's so funny. So let me tell you about yesterday. I did the podcast and then I went to work. I work for a local entity that does grants and things like that, and also prepares for our barbecue fest. So I spent there, and then I went to my second job right after that. I worked until 5, and then from 5 until 8, and then I came home. And look, quite frankly, by the time I got home, this is what I did. I'm so tired. So
She's like,
I didn't I didn't actually write anything, and I'm not going to be able to do it today because I have 5 news articles to write. Unless those count as
wow.
words. Because if those count as words, I'm good.
Nope,
I
nope, they
know, I
got to
know.
be in your story. Oh man. But I did
So,
do this yoga yesterday. Me body is kind of sore, but
good.
I think it's sore in a good way. So that's awesome. So let's kick off today with business. Tell me how to widen my brand.
Well, it's first, you and I have had this conversation a bazillion times. It's first about owning your own brand. A lot of people think that you're going to write a book and that a magic fairy is going to publish that book, and another magic fairy is going to sprinkle knowledge of your book on everybody's little eyelashes so that they magically want to go to Amazon and Google and everywhere else to buy your book. We know that that's not the reality, that even people who have big name publishing and even people who are published really by anyone, that the majority of our marketing has to be done by ourselves. And
Absolutely.
it's very difficult to market an individual book. It's very difficult to get people to read or care about an individual book. But a
Right.
brand is something different. An author's name, whether it be their real name or their pen name or whatever the case may be, that is their brand if they do it right. Like if they want that recognition. Some people want it to be all about the book, and good on them, but I don't just want to write one book. I want to write like 50. So I
Right,
want my
right, exactly.
name to be recognizable so that way when you see a title attached to that name, you're intrigued or interested.
Right, right.
So
I got you.
the first thing every author should do, whether you're a fiction author, a nonfiction author, news author, anybody who writes really, or copyrights, or ghostwrites, or any skill set that you have, you want to develop a brand, a recognizable brand. So I use my name, and because I'm extra, I use my full name, Kristy Denice Bock. It is on everything.
Um, it is. It
Everything.
is. Everything is everything. Down to
And
the last nugget. Kristy Denise Bock.
mhm. And so my
I'm
book
just
and
Raven the crazy star. That's it. I do have a question since you mentioned pen names. I know a lot of people have more than one pen
Mhm.
name. What do you think about that? Do you think that that's logical to write under a
I think
plethora of names, or should you just keep that
if it
one name and
if
build
it
that?
works for them, and I'll use an example. Um, Timber Dalton has a couple different names, and she seems to be very successful at it. Um, I think that, I mean, I don't know her personally. I just follow her on, I think, Facebook and Twitter, and she seems to do really, really well with the separation of. I believe her pen names are broken down by the genre she writes, and
Right,
that
yeah.
seems to work for her. I do not buy into that. I'm not. For me personally, I would not, if I wanted to write fantasy, if I wanted to write fiction, if I wanted to write erotica, I'm slapping my name on all of it.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's how I feel too. That I even, I am working on a young adult book and I still want that to have my name on it because Raven Star is the brand, correct?
Hmm.
So to build on the Raven Star aspect and not 6 different entities of Raven Star.
Well, think of what that would entail. You would need a website for each entity. It's like, okay, so I have the Literary Goddess. I used to have a website, and I will again very soon have a website for my name. But I can't decide if I want to do Kristy Bock, Kristy D Bock, or Kristy Denise Bock, which is why I don't have it right now because I literally cannot decide what I want to do. And I think, and the reason for this is this. I don't want to ignore the news that I write because I'm very proud of it. It's not part of my brand because I'm writing for someone else, but my name is on it. So when you
Right.
Google my name, they both come up, the writing and the news, my books and the news, the blogs and the news, the podcast and the news. So um, I brand it. So the Literary Goddess, this podcast, the reviews and all of that we do, that's an entirely different entity. That's a business. That's something that I am building to one day make money from. So as I grow my brand, I'm also growing the Literary Goddess brand. Um, but at some point, they will be separate,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
because I plan to use the Literary Goddess platform to promote my stuff, of course. That's why I built it. But the brands themselves,
Da-dum.
the brands themselves will be separate because and I already, okay, I'm getting way off tangent. So let me rein that in. Because
She
we
figured it out.
we were going a little further into that. I wanted to just talk about branding today because that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what does that mean? Like if somebody were to ask you, Raven, what is your brand and what does it mean? What would you say?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So,
Seriously, that this is why this segment is so important because I don't think a lot of people know how to build their brand. When
mhm,
I was writing 10, 12 years ago, like I said, I had everything done for me.
mhm.
All I had to do was write a book.
Yep. Show
And
up.
I was
All
so,
we had to do was show
yeah,
up.
and I was so spoiled by that small little part that I had to play that I was like, okay, I could be the author. I'm just going to write. No, now you have to write, and you have to build your brand, and you have to
Mhm,
that everything is coinciding with each other.
mhm,
So, yeah, I would say I really don't know. The only thing that I can do to build my brand is to keep pumping out work, keep promoting myself on different platforms using hashtags, which I said earlier in the week that I don't use and I really should all the time. So yeah, I would say those are the things that I would like more help on.
mhm.
So I'm doing because honestly, before we started doing this, I didn't even know what a brand was. I really didn't. I was like, okay, I was gone for 10 years, but everybody knows Raven Starr, let's get started. But no, I had to, it's almost like, going and starting over from scratch again.
It
So,
is.
so
Mhm. So when we think of brands, we want to immediately think of some recognizable ones. And while we're talking about authors, um, a recognizable brand would be Stephen King. A recognizable brand
I
would
love
be,
Stephen
I
King.
love Stephen King too.
If you
Um,
ever see this, Mr. King, we love you.
we love you.
My
He,
books get compared to some of your books, which is awesome.
so that was true. I did that. It was thinner.
It was. It was.
So, and I credit Stephen King to the fact that Ascension Descension got finished. Um, I was, I don't know, midway through the book and my brain was lagging because sometimes when I get into a story, y'all have to understand that my imagination is crazy and that it's so explosive. Like I look, when my future mother-in-law read my book, the first thing she said was, "It's really well written. Your imagination is different."
Absolutely. That's a
So,
great thing.
and
I
so
think that is a wonderful thing to have.
so and that's and so anybody who's read it so far, that's what they say. Your imagination is just wow. And so I know what I write is just it's pretty far out there. But I promise it's worth it. It's a good ride.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
so it's important, back to branding. It is important to um, be visible. So that's
Yeah.
probably my rule number one for branding is be visible. What that means is you have to decide which platforms you're going to be on And when you make that decision, be on them. If you're going to have a website, update it at least 2 or 3 times a week. If you're going to have social media, it helps to engage your audience daily. I'm not saying you have to spend 8 to 10 hours a day on social media, but there's two
Really?
things.
I like social media. No, I'm joking.
So, yeah. Raven and I go back and forth on social media. Sometimes we love it, sometimes we hate it. But the reality is, it's a tool
We
that
need
we
it.
must
Yeah,
use. Mhm. And the
absolutely.
people who say, oh, I don't go on Twitter or I don't go on Instagram, I don't actually go on Instagram.
I go on Instagram. You gotta give me the login for the literary
Yes.
Instagram, and I'll just take that over because I love it.
Oh, I can't stand Instagram. And I don't even know why, but it's because I'm not picture oriented. I'm not visually oriented. Um, Look, I love y'all. I really do. But I don't care what you ate for breakfast. And I have a cat. I don't need to see yours. And you know
She
what
said,
though?
"I have one. I don't need to see your cat."
I will always look at pictures of babies. So keep sending those.
Okay, all right, baby.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is. I have this weird baby fever thing going on. Like I think I know, and I can't have kids, and I'm grown, and I'm 40. Like, but all of a sudden, it's on my brain all the time.
Oh no.
So I told Derek, I was like, let's adopt a kid. And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, then can
He's
we?
like, no.
Can, so,
That was
so
my
then I'm like,
impression of Derek, you guys, when she's like, well, let's have a little baby.
so then I was like, well, let's foster kids. And he's like, no. And I'm like,
I've thought about that too myself, fostering kids, because I don't know what it is. I don't have any grandkids. I am in my 40s, and
mhm.
I kind of miss the little snuggly, cute, they all smell good and you want to squeeze them. I do miss that, but I also like sleeping at night.
Yeah, like I don't think I want a baby.
Really, I would want a little something little. Not something that's going to walk around and terrorize my house because I have 2 dogs and 2 cats that think I'm perfect. So I would have to have a little scrunchy potato.
So I went back and forth. I think you know what it is, y'all? It's not even that I want a kid. It is that my kids are moving out and growing up and starting their own lives, and I feel left behind. And I've
Yeah,
identified as a
yeah. That
parent
empty
for,
nest syndrome is no joke.
yeah, it's, I think I'd rather start over than experience emptiness.
Right, right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's an adventure.
it's it
But
is.
but seriously, I don't have time for a kid.
No, you don't. You guys, I barely see her sometimes, and I have to like send her quick. I miss you, face, and she's like, "Oh, I remember you. Yeah, all right."
Whatever.
Really,
So
really, really busy.
well, and it's crazy because um I thought I was going to be unemployed last month. So I was anticipating all of this free time to work on the
She was
website to
freaking out. She
I
was
was
freaking
totally
out.
freaking out. Um but God is good, y'all, and I landed a couple jobs instead of one. um
Absolutely. I told her that everything was going to work out, but she doesn't trust my psychic brain yet. She'll figure it out.
so um so now that I work part-time for one job and part-time at another, and I'm writing for the paper, which can be anytime. It's
That's like 3 jobs.
it is. But it's trying to find that balance now, and that's
Yeah.
important too, because I don't want to lose traction on my brand. I haven't had anything posted on my social media since like January 12th, and that is freaking me out, y'all, freaking me out. Um, because that's not what I established or what I set up to do or set out to do. Um, so it's come to my realization that I need something that's going to help me cut back on my time. So, be visible being my first rule. My second rule would be to know what your limits are. I now know that I don't have 2 hours a day to put towards to put towards a literary goddess, or to put towards my writing, or to put towards my own brand. I just don't have it right now. So I need to find someone
That happy
to
little balance
that
between.
I need to find that balance between the two. So what I have to decide is which is more important. Um, Going out to eat maybe with somebody this month, or should I just go ahead and pay for Zoho Social, the $35, and get a month's worth of posts out there? So these are the kind of decisions that you're going to have to make if you want your brand to be visible. So $35 a month is a lot. It is. I'm a poor human.
Yeah, absolutely,
I don't
absolutely.
have, I don't have it like that to just drop on whatever I want.
Right, right.
So,
There's sometimes in the month where I barely have 2 pennies to rip together, you
mhm,
know. So trying to reach out and purchase all these programs to help us expand our brand, you know,
mhm,
it's it's that money issue.
it
It's not
is.
hey, the time, but it's also that money issue. Can you sacrifice that $35 a month, that $45 a month? So for
So,
people in our situation that can't afford those
mhm.
things, what do you think that they should do
Well,
and kind of remain visible?
I'm going to show you. So we've
See,
talked about,
yeah.
I'm going to share my screen because this is cool that we can do this. And, again, extra.
.com.
So, okay. Look, you can see that all of my engagement for social media has dropped dramatically.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's down almost 100%. So, I really need to get back in the social media game. So, I am on the free plan for Zoho Social. And what that means is I can schedule my posts. Oh, no, I can't. I'm on the free plan. Ha ha ha. So
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
just
I was like, oh, we could do that. Because I
no,
do
okay, so
on the
so
free plan.
I can just post them. And that's fine. Because between Zoho and Blog to Social, if you don't have the money to spend, you can post to both for free. So you just can't schedule ahead and things like that. Actually, you can schedule and auto post on Blog to Social. So the free version of that you can do that with. So
That's
those are
awesome.
two tools, Zoho Social and Blog to Social, which is a WordPress plugin for your website. Those are two tools that will give you some time back to help your brand with visibility. Now, for me, the free versions they don't work for me. I have too much to do, and I'm too spastic, and I'm trying to grow two brands at the same time. So,
Right on.
so it's not beneficial for me to use the free ones because I don't have the time to do it daily like that.
Yeah.
So, in this instance, the question comes down to what is my time worth? I could wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and give myself 2 more hours in the day and then do all of this. But you know what? No, just
Yes, thank
no.
you. No. Sleep is important.
So, to me, I have to. So okay. So basically, it comes down to this. This is how I made the decision. Um, Minimum wage is $7.25 an hour in North Carolina, which is where I live. So if I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to work, that would give me 2 hours a day. If I did that 5 days a week, that would be what, 14 times five, $70, right?
Math is hard, so
We're
look
gonna
at
just
that.
guesstimate $70.
Yes, yes. Let's guesstimate that that's seventy
Okay.
dollars.
So that means my time for 1 week of posting is $70. If I just spend $35 on Zoho Social, I could sleep for those 2 hours.
Right on. No.
That's how I made that decision.
Right. She was like, I choose sleep.
I choose sleep.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
But seriously, out there, if anyone wants to donate to us, we would love a year subscription to Zoho Social.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
We should get one of those, I don't even remember what they're called. Those little pages where you want people to give you money. Yeah.
Like a donation page? Like a GoFundMe?
It was something else that some of the singers like TLC used it to like get money to produce their new album. I forgot what it's called. I know it's not. I don't know.
Crowdsourcing?
I think that's what it was.
Okay. I'm following now. So, rule 1, be visible.
Stay visible.
Be visible. Rule 2, I forgot rule
Sleep.
2. Sleep.
Rule 2 was sleep.
I think rule 2 should be understand how much time you actually have and put a price tag on that time. How
Absolutely.
much do you think? Now, I said minimum wage because if I'm not putting forth any effort to it, that's what I deserve.
Right.
Now, if I'd have spent, all of December and November busting my butt and growing my brand and doing all those things, the time I would have put a price tag on would have been much higher because I'm actively doing it.
Right, exactly.
So as long as I'm lazy, I can only value my time at $7.25 an hour. That's my daughter.
Oh Lord, there's another person.
I tried to get her to come on the podcast today.
That's cool.
So we only have a few more minutes. So I just want to kind of do a quick recap on what a brand is, why it's important, and what you should be doing. And then we will do new challenges for each other. Please don't make mine 2,000 words because I really don't have time today.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so recap. A brand is something that people can recognize to identify you and your work, period. Super simple.
Period.
Your brand needs to be visible and you need to actively, consciously, monetarily, and all the other areas that I could think of, you need to put forth the effort.
Absolutely.
You have to do the work. End of whatever. So be visible, do the work. Don't expect anybody to do it for you. And okay, so this is my biggest complaint that I'm just going to jump right into real quick. It irks my ever-loving last nerve to go on Twitter and see someone drag an author or drag anybody successful and professional because they are successful and professional.
Yeah.
I'm sorry they worked hard and you didn't, or I'm sorry they got lucky and you didn't. It's got nothing to do with you. Their life and their means and their processes have literally nothing to do with you. Find your own. Stop being petty.
Right.
But I do actually, on a completely different subject, what in the head, not going to curse, what in the world is going on with the RWA?
Girl, since we only have like a minute, we should do a show on that because I heard RWA is blown up.
Is it going to like close? That's what I heard. I heard it was going to close down.
Yeah.
That's like an institution.
I know, but I heard it was a very racist and horrible institution to be a part of.
Well, we control the podcast. Like it can be more than 30 minutes. It's only two of us today. So tell me what's going on because I'm curious.
From what I heard is some of the some of the people that contributed to RWA were dragging women of color through the mud with their books and things like that. And it just went from a little bitty spark to an explosion of anger.
Well, I know that they put out this flyer, this very, very poorly chosen flyer of a white woman standing on top of a hill reaching down to like lift up the black woman. And look, y'all, there's no such thing as white savior. It's a myth. It doesn't exist. And see, I'm white. I can say that.
She's white. She can say that. I didn't say she's.
Hey, there are a lot I can't say. I mean, we probably do, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm very proud of myself though. I haven't sworn in like
I
2 days.
know. I know. I did though.
Yes, you did. Yeah, got sugar, honey, iced tea.
Hey, I can say sugar honey iced tea. There's no swear words in that.
Exactly, exactly.
So, um, I guess I purposefully haven't been paying attention to the RWA thing because um, I hate racism in books, and it's always there. It's
Yeah,
there with big authors, it's there with famous authors, it's there with no name authors. It is in every, well, almost every book, even the well intended ones are inherently, I don't want to say inherently racist because that's not what I'm trying to say, but they're the socially acceptable culture of writing allows for racism to be a thing. When you write a story or you read a book and it talks about inner city life is always portrayed with gangs and guns and I'm
drugs and
and drugs. Yeah, I'm not saying that those things don't exist, but I've lived in the inner city, I've lived in rural North Carolina, I've lived outside of Pittsburgh, I've lived all over the place. You know what I never saw? What I see on TV. Not one time. And
that too.
I grew up in a town called McKeesport, which depending on which news article you believe may or may not be the 10th most dangerous city in the country.
Wow.
So when you portray groups of people, and there are usually people of color, in this derogatory manner all the time, in every book, in every movie, in everything, then the people who read, like this is gonna, but you and I had this conversation, I'm gonna share it anyway. A 16-year-old from Wisconsin who has only ever grown up near 50,000 white people who probably doesn't even know a person of color. Their entire exposure is what they read and what they watch.
Absolutely.
So when all of the messages are inner city violence, gangs, drugs, people of color do all these things, and you're not getting that message. You're not getting the message that there's no bleep, bleep, bleeping difference between us. I mean,
Beep, beep, beep,
look,
beep, beep.
Raven and I are twins, y'all. I see it.
I already know. I already know. I already know.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that we as a society will not. We should basically what I'm saying is we shouldn't be punishing anybody for. That's not how I want to say that. It's not that we shouldn't be punishing anybody, but if we're going to call people out for racism, we need to own our own.
Right on.
And
Absolutely.
and I'm not. Look, I have a multicultural family. I have a multicultural life. But you know what? I have to remind myself all the time that some of the things I do that I was taught, that I grew up doing, that I didn't know or even understand, that sometimes they're hurtful to other people. And that's what I just have to constantly be mindful about.
Absolutely. Absolutely true.
Well, I hope the RWA survives. I think it's a good organization for what it does. But yeah, when they put that picture out of that woman leaning down and grabbing the other woman, I wanted to vomit in my mouth. I'm like, that's your solution?
That set off so much hell. It really did. When I saw that, I was like, wow, man, really? With everything you're going through, you're going to put that up.
Yeah, because
But,
nothing that is a prime example of people thinking that of the white savior mentality. And I say that in jest, but that was my first thought is, oh my God, they're going to get backlash because, and I understand what they're trying to say. The message, the message was author helping author.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just author helping author, not white author pulling up the black author. It was just supposed to be all of us together.
But
And yeah,
just
once they put that out, all hell broke loose. It
yeah,
was
I saw a bunch of resignations and stuff like that, but I never followed the RWA. I was never part of it because I struggle to write romance. So um, I really do need to like read, I don't know, 10 romance books just to see why I'm struggling and why I can't do it.
because you want to put wings on everybody.
Everybody should have wings. But okay, so we're going to wrap up the show because I didn't want to go too much over, but I did want to know about the RWA. Okay, so challenge. You did yoga yesterday, so I won't do that one today. Okay, I challenge you to finish 2 blurbs today.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that. I challenge you to write 1,200 words.
Okay. I will attempt to make that work, and I hope tomorrow I don't have to hide behind a cup.
At least it was Chewbacca.
At least it was Chewbacca. But okay, so we're going to end this. We only ran a few minutes over, so I will see you tomorrow. This is Kristy Denice Bock with Goddess Talks, and
Radio Star.
bye.
Bye, you guys. Have a good morning.